smart. So the learning outcomes for today, the main thing that we would like you all to get from this presentation is to learn how to become a mindful eater. We will talk about everything that is encompassed in that term. Another thing we're going to discuss today are different types of hunger and what that means for you, the participant in our program. And the last thing is to learn the benefits of stress management and how that incorporates into you and your own nutritional status. So just as a little introduction to get us warmed up with this topic, the first thing we would like you all to do before you become a mindful eater is to first shift your mindset. So we would like everyone to notice that the Thin It to Win It program is not necessarily a diet, as in a fad diet or a trending diet, but rather it's a lifestyle change, something that's sustainable for the rest of your eating time. Another thing that we're going to talk about today, again, mindfulness. Two things that are incorporated in that are balance and moderation. Another thing we would like you all to get used to are having realistic expectations of yourself. That in turn will make your self-esteem go up because you're able to accomplish realistic goals, which will in turn make you more successful in the program overall. So what is mindful eating, you may be wondering? The first way to describe mindful eating would be to make food choices based on health and wellness for you in general. Another thing is using all of your senses when choosing different types of food selection. So like Megan just went over, smelling the chocolate, feeling the chocolate, tasting the chocolate, being very aware and very mindful of what you're putting into your body instead of consuming mindlessly, if you will. Two other things to think about are balance and moderation. So what we mean when we say balance is overall following the genuine health guidelines that we've been discussing the whole time this program has been going on. Another thing we would like you all to realize is that having one little tiny piece of chocolate or one piece of dessert or something you may consider indulgent won't make or break your weight loss journey in this program. So can I have a volunteer from the audience? What's something you all like to indulge upon?
Girl Scout cookies.
Girl Scout cookies. I think we can all appreciate the taste of a Girl Scout cookie. So do you think that having a few Girl Scout cookies, perhaps the serving size on the box, every few weeks would be considered moderation? Yeah, okay, yeah, for sure. Okay, but what about completely eliminating those foods as good or bad? So if we consider Girl Scout cookies bad, I'm not going to have them, and then you go to the grocery store and there are those cute little girls on the corner with those Girl Scout cookies. You go home and your husband or child has brought them and now they're there, but you're still saying, no, it's bad, I'm not going to have it. The more and more we say no and just try to ignore those desires, the stronger and stronger they're going to get until eventually life happens, we lose control of willpower, and how many Girl Scout cookies are we going to eat? How many boxes of Girl Scout cookies are we going to eat? So that's what we really want to promote today, is just the balance and moderation. So go ahead, have a Girl Scout cookie or two every now and then. Not every single night, not with every single meal. Balance it, work it into your diet, use those exchanges we all have knowledge of to balance it into your diet, rather than saying it's bad and completely writing it off forever, because again, that's just not a very realistic expectation. So the two types of hunger. The ones that we're going to discuss today are emotional hunger and physical hunger. So physical hunger we will talk about first. When we say physical hunger, we're talking about your body telling you that there is a physiological need for nutrients. It needs carbohydrates, it needs fat, it needs protein. These are the signs and symptoms that you're going to feel. You're going to have that growling stomach. You're going to have an attitude that's open to different types of food options. You're going to make deliberate choices, make smart choices, mindful choices. And you're also not going to feel guilty after you've eaten because you realize, okay, I needed to eat. Everything's fine. I made a mindful choice. Everything's great. Emotional hunger, on the other hand, is something that is usually a physiological response to some sort of stress. Think about a bad day at work or an argument with your spouse. Perhaps your boss has stacked another stack of papers on your desk, and it's human nature to turn to food. Can you all agree with me when we've experienced that before, right? So some of the signs that when you can tell it's an emotional hunger Those are going to be sudden food-specific cravings, which we'll go over a little bit later. So you'll be sitting there once you get that huge stack of papers and you'll say, where are my potato chips? Or where are those Girl Scout cookies at? Because I want to feel better. Research does suggest that consuming high carbohydrate, high fat meals, like processed fat, those can mimic the happy chemicals in your brain, making it a quick fix for that stress response. But as we know, that's kind of like a band-aid for the problem, and does that really fix the underlying cause of all the stress? No. So you may ask, how can I fix the underlying causes of that stress? That is an excellent question. We're going to go over that. So first, let's talk about why stress management is important to you nutritionally. We will see that poor eating habits are definitely something that can come from stress. So that could come in any form. That could be, like we've talked about, over-consuming those Girl Scout cookies. That could be another type as just saying, I'm too stressed out, I don't want to eat anything at all. And as we know, those things lead to nutrient depletion or excess nutrients in the case of overconsumption. So again, it's really important to consume a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and low-fat dairy products. Those are going to give you these key nutrients right here, which all work at the cellular level to combat that original stress response. So if we could all take out our brochures, we have a little exercise. If you look at the portion on the right-hand side, it is a little craving alternative worksheet. So if we could ask the nutrition students to go ahead and get with someone, I think you guys are all already suited up and seated with them. The first step of the worksheet would be to think about what are those trigger events, what are those trigger moods that make me want to overconsume that food or reach for that food. So go ahead and take a moment, be reflective and think, okay, when do I feel that stress? Is it a bad day at work? Is it my boss with the paper? Is it something with my kids? So go ahead and take a moment, fill that one out.